we have a lot of materials, and you will find the details in the brochure. Thank you for having us. It's actually, it started from a very practical need. We are a film commission, and we were desperately seeking for funds, and there was no funds in culture. And honestly, we started knocking at every door that was available, and the one that opened up was industry with the energy sector, because we are an island, and there is a big investment in renewable energies now. We were actually seeking for money from investors, and we were trying to figure out which is another industry that is going very well and that can actually benefit from investing in visibility through culture. That's how it all started. We got EU funds to launch a program of short films and web series that had the need of being both highly experimental in the content and make eco-sustainability sexy. And we had the same problem as labeling things that was not supposed to sound like a very technical scientist program for nerds and specialists, but in a way attract young and older generations to the topic, putting together content placement and new strategies for discovering talents. It came out well, and it was surprising. On the other hand, the need of train the production teams and make the green set protocols that we were able to read through the experience of more green countries like Germany or Northern Europe, etc., in Italy sounded like another scheme of additional bureaucratic work. So it was highly regarded as dangerous and other additional paperwork. And it actually turned out to be totally different and very efficient in terms of the budget, and extremely efficient in terms of the networking. In other words, every production that was shot experimenting the existing green protocols from all over the world. The basic guidelines we got were links to, the green label, the green sheet label, or the PGA Green of America, or the Irish Green Protocol, and we said, try it and tell us how it works, because Sardinia, like other regions in Italy, has no chance to go green or not go green. We're an island, and rubbish as well as efficiency is a need of every single citizen. If we have a big set that abandons the trash in the beach, it affects the tourist season deeply, and it mostly destroys the reputation of the audiovisual industry. It happened in the past very badly. Film commissions deal with communities, and the film sets go away, but the film commissioners stay. So it was efficient to go green, and we're very excited because the new generations are now trained in green ways. And just to give you a sense, the next program is training young kids to be filmmakers, and we don't give the chance of be something else but eco-filmmakers. And we do these discovering talents that were never thinking of even touching the audiovisual industry, like illustrators or 3D companies that were working purely for, let's say, economic reasons with other sectors. And this tells you that there is a great openness and potential of inclusion of other sectors as well. We said that we wanted to make it funny, but it turns out that we both have lost the voice. It's like the Italian way.
So only we give my experience with students with on the volcan. We shoot around the volcan. The Vesuvio in Campania is very difficult country. So like my other sorry, but we shoot without cinemobile, without track, only track. Euro 5 during the 212, and we make a green cinema is very strange, because it's a little film, because we make a film documentary with a little crew. We shoot with only one track, and without paper, because we use only the computer, and so. But in Italy, we don't have a protocol. So I and my company make blue film green protocol, like so we don't make the so in which way make the label in Italy for the green protocol. So I started with my company, is a little green cinema. So,
yeah, we have to say that now there are green protocols
yes.
in place. Yeah.
Yes, in place.
Yeah. Yeah, in September you did this agreement, and so in 3 different regions you will work out the protocol and adapt it.
Yeah, Trentino and also Torino
yes.
are developing their protocol with the Edison.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think this is crucial, and this is crucial also because the audiovisual industry is very complex, and for instance, speaking in the perspective of the public institutions that deliver the funds and work with, city halls and local municipalities, the same ability of spending better and doing not only damage control but investment in the change can be done in the way we organize our funds, and this is proof in the various networks of film commissions and film funds in Europe. We can also change the way that we offer services to producers. We don't just give grants or we don't just give prices to those that are not polluting, but for instance, we ask producers to participate in the restoration of public buildings or in the efficiency policy of the local municipality. This, for instance, has happened in Torino, where the Independent Film Commission has made a deal with the local municipality to give free energy to the companies that want to shoot in the city, but then they have to somehow give some grant to improve buildings in the city or some places. Same thing happened in Sardinia. The Trentino is doing something similar, basically connecting the investment of the tourist activities, that there is a big emphasis on sustainable tourism, for instance, and put some of the investment at the service of the audiovisual service, but at the audiovisual industry, but at the same time, you want to take some visibility out of it. So what I'm saying is that the way that the film funds and film commissions can work together is also to improve this ability of going to the positive side of the dark and basically start investing in actions that will make the entire community benefit from. It has been created, there was an agreement signed in October with Edison. Edison is one of the providers of electricity in Italy, for those who don't know. And what we did is we didn't want to use the Edison protocol because, first of all, it's privately run, but we wanted to tailor the protocol for each region. I say this because it's true not only for Italy. We've been discussing this with the subgroup of Cineregio, which is the network of regional funds in Europe. We all are aware that you cannot use one protocol because each reality has its own needs and its own possibility. For the Italians, though, what we are doing is that as national film commissions, we are giving a checklist to start understanding what can be done immediately with no additional cost. And we are actually targeting mostly entrepreneurs because the common, people have a lot of prejudice about ecology. They think the printed paper is still more expensive than the other one. It's proof it's not true anymore. It was true a few years ago. And same thing for other choices that you can make, including the shift to updated technologies. We are the country of design, fashion, and great food. It's a little bit paradoxical that the audiovisual industry doesn't go naturally green because it can actually be an incredible field of experiments for creative talents to show up in another world and in another fashion. Some examples, again, come from Paris, for instance. A few months ago, in front of the Louvre, there was an installation of an experimental windmill tree where you could basically create a factory of young designers to design objects for public spaces, preferably for children-like aesthetics, and be at the same time a tool of energy savings and energy collection. The results were stunning. And what's happening is that any public institution does these kind of calls, I am sure that a lot of production designers, as well as people that work in our world, can benefit from it and turn something scientifical into a very cool object to have. So yes, we're working on the Italian translation, and mostly we are trying to kill, the prejudice of Italian producers. Alessandro is one of the exceptions, and we have a lot of work to do there. We need to make sure that the possibilities that each reality has can come out respecting the different needs of the territories. We say this because, for instance, in the European group, we notice that there are countries where there is an incredible education on sustainability in the everyday life. But then, as we were saying before, people go on set and they just forget to be good citizens. In Italy, we have the opposite, and sometimes people are not good citizens, but on set, they learn the rules. So, you know, we have to respect the difference and just work the other way around. All I'm saying is that this is a great tool for all the people in the industry also to affect, for instance, film schools and how people are trained to work. And that's why, for instance, the Creative Europe and the media program has started to target these as one of the tools that should be implemented in the networking and educational opportunities offered there. You want to give them more points if they decide that they will be certified, because, by the way, this is crucial for public opinion. The results of the calculators are useful for the entire society. Municipalities must respond to the European requirements for 2020 about their ability of making reductions. Environmental councillors must give clear checklists for the entire region. So it's not just about the film shoot itself, it's about feeling part of a much bigger mosaic where you're not just playing the funny guys, but you're starting to play a key role in policy making. This changes the ability of institutions like film commissions and film funds to negotiate how much our industry is worth it, but also gives us the legitimation of being serious about this, because the numbers change the vote of Europe, for instance, in giving additional funds for other policies like public health. No small things. So personally, I think that if we stop just playing around this topic, but many people are saying that, we keep talking about this. COP21, Joanna was one of the key players for organizing a big meeting in Paris, while the governments were talking environmentally for the entire world. And we were trying to understand how can we be taken more seriously. We are not the oil industry, but as you said, we can change the way that people think that smoking was cool when James Dean was alive. Today, recycling is very sexy. Let's make stories about it. We have to start doing this, otherwise nobody will take us seriously.